We begin with the priest holding a mass, but something is off. He can be seen thinking about something, and even pauses the mass momentarily. Eventually, the mass concludes and everyone leaves. The priest moves somewhere private within the church and continues thinking. We see flashes of his past, how he could never be enough for anyone. He takes a deep breath and makes his way out of the church. It was a stormy night. He makes his way to the roof of the church and to the very front. He looks down at the edge and slowly slides his foot closer. He slides further and eventually falls. But as he falls, everything suddenly slows down. Reality shatters around him, and he's suddenly transported to a white glowing void. He is visibly shocked. Where am I? He thinks to himself. Moments pass when suddenly, a giant, translucent, glowing white entity with no facial features descend from the sky. In this giant, we see 3 floating figures. The priest cannot comprehend what he was seeing. And then the giant begins to speak in a large, governing voice.
What is it that you seek in life?
The giant's voice consists of the 3 figures from within. As all speak in unison, confused, the priest just goes, "I am happy as I am now." And the being responds with,
Speak truthfully, for liars shall achieve nothing.
Hesitantly, the priest goes, "I wish to help others, but I am not content with how I am now. I know I can do better. I'm too determined to give up, but I'm too weak to where I can't act." The giant responds,
So be it. It shall be done.
Kenneth Emmanuel awaken, and so he wakes up. A ray of sunshine hits his face, and he appears to be alive. His landing zone appears to have a shattered pavement, but he remains unharmed. From the interaction, we finally found out our protagonist's name, Kenneth Emmanuel. Kenneth gets inside of the church and goes through his usual day. But something feels off. His senses are improved, and he can detect even the most minor of things happening around him. He stands still momentarily, and in a split second, he catches a fly that was heading towards him, further showing improvement in his reflexes. He minds nothing of it, and gets ready for the day. He arrived at the city, but his perception of everything seems different. The sky is very dark. The streets are dirty, and foul language fills the mouth of nearby pedestrians. He wouldn't usually view things this way, but he can't unsee it. As he walks, he notices something in a nearby alleyway. A group of criminals attempting to steal from an innocent woman. He hesitates slightly, but eventually steps forward and approaches the group, as he knows he must act. Kenneth stands with authority, commanding them to stop. However, they laugh and mock him. After all, how can a measly priest save anyone? They express further violence and mockery towards Kenneth, and he is visibly distressed. As he was about to walk away, one of the criminals mocked him even further. about how he's just a poster that can't stand up for anyone. This sets Kenneth off the edge. He approaches one of the criminals and throws an unexpectedly powerful punch, so much that even Kenneth is surprised. The criminals attempt to fight back, but they can't all withstand him, except for one. The last of the group grabs a metal pipe from the side and smacks Kenneth with it, which stuns him momentarily. Kenneth begins to doubt once again that he should have never stepped up to begin with. He continues to struggle with the same issue, which was lack of faith. His power decreases, and the criminals beat him while he was on the ground. Something isn't right. He thinks to himself, "What happened? I should be able to stomp him like the others, but I can't." Kenneth looks to his side and sees his rosary that had been dropped. It reminds him of what his interaction with that giant had brought him, a reminder of what he truly yearned for in life: justice. He reaches for the rosary with the little strength he has left. Upon grabbing it, a surge of faith washes through Kenneth. It gives him a boost in strength, and he could fight once more. He grabs the criminal's weapon as it's about to hit him, and sends him flying to the other side of the alleyway with a single blow. Kenneth gets up and recovers easily. He assists the woman, and she gets away scot-free. As he walks away with bruises all over, he feels a sense of satisfaction. He had been facing injustice his whole life, and he could never act due to his weakness and lack of faith. But this one confrontation inspires him to act further. With this, it feels as though it's his obligation to help them. As he's bestowed with his power, he makes his way back to the church and begins experimenting. After countless hours of practice, he has his ability all figured out. He could finally harness his insane statistics of strength, speed, and durability, which are all based on how much faith he has. The more the faith, the stronger he gets. Days pass. Kenneth can be seen holding church ceremonies by day and training sessions during the night. He would take advantage of his faith-based ability, where he can finally redeem himself through God. We can see him visibly training ruthlessly and filled with determination, as if he's preparing for something. The next day, we can see him getting ready, and when the night finally struck, he wore a black face mask and his cassock, patrolling the city with his unwavering desire for justice. Weeks pass. Kenneth has made a large impact on the city, transferring it from a city of crimes to a city of Jesus. During his patrols, he would enforce justice on the wrongdoers with no stop. His work is praised, but Kenneth remains hidden and discreet in his work. Years pass, and Kenneth is portrayed as a legend in the city, responsible for restoring peace and order, and under the name Dark Crusader. But on one of his nightly patrols, a fire catches in a nearby building. Kenneth arrives late, but rushes into the blazing fire anyway. He searches for victims despite the insane heat, and with his insane power, he would bring heaps of victims to safety. But as he was about to flee and save himself, he can still hear one more person. Deep in the rubble, he sees an innocent baby crying and coughing in desperation. Kenneth considers turning back, as saving this child may cost his life. But Kenneth thinks to himself, am I really just going to leave an innocent baby to die? No, I can't stop now. I, Kenneth Manuel, shall devote my life to no other than God and His people. And not even the gates of hell will stop me from serving justice. Armed with incredible willpower, on his way back, his legs are torn apart and his arm nearly burnt into ash. And yet, he continues anyway. As he crawls, he begins to speak with his dying breath. Kenneth makes it out alive. He lies the child down gently, and the rest of the people he had saved surround him in his final moments as he lies down in acceptance. He then says his final word, which was connected to the prayer he was citing.
I believe in Jesus Christ.
Kenneth dies with a smile on his face and with no regrets whatsoever. The people around him mourn his death. He had carried the city towards greatness with nothing but his willpower and unwavering faith in God. They commemorate him as his body continues burning and converting into ash. They all remain in silence in respect for Kenneth and all that he had done. Kenneth may have died, but the legacy of reverence he had left shall continue for generations to come. Kenneth may have died, but the legacy of reverence he had left shall continue for generations to come.